Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to another session of Python programming. So we started second chapter. So in the second chapter, we discussed about iterations, definite iteration and indefinite iterations, and we have seen some examples on that. And from today's topic, we are going to discuss more in detail about what are the applications of loops and control flow statements. Those are if else. Okay, so more practical oriented problems we try to address in this particular session. So where exactly we use these different kinds of control structures and repetition statements, especially in Python. So the practical examples we try to understand how these control structures can be applied on these practical sessions. Okay, so let's start with the contents that we are going to see in this particular video. That is some more examples on if else, if and if else statements, and examples on while loop. Okay, so next. Okay, so we try to understand a general problem. Okay, because Python programming structures, whatever the concepts that we have in Python, all these can be applied practically in the situations. So then only we can able to understand what is the power of those control statements or the particular concepts that we have in Python. Okay, so let's try to understand a scenario where we try to write a program for a particular mathematical problem. Okay, so you can able to see on the screen. So this is a general sequence of numbers. So what the basic description of the program is, suppose you take a list. In that list it contains all some different sort of numbers, but I need to search for 3 consecutive common numbers. Okay, so 3 consecutive common numbers which are there in the list. So I need to find out those type of numbers and I need to produce the output. What are those consecutive common numbers which exist in the list? Okay, so that is what the general problem scenario. So on the screen you can able to see that. So it's suppose if I given some input to the program, which is a list. Okay, that list contains some sort of numbers. So the numbers is like this: 4, 5, 5, 5, 3 and 8. So these are all the numbers that we have in the list. Okay, so what is my problem is, that means problem description is, I need to find out a number. Okay, a number which is repeatedly has to be present in the list. Okay, how many times? At least 3 times. So that is what my problem description. So I need to find out the numbers. Okay, at least 3 times that number has to be repeatedly produced in the list. Okay, so in the first example you can able to see that input is given, which is some set of numbers. Okay, so where the 3 consecutive common numbers, that means 5 is the number which is present 3 times. Okay, so repeatedly 3 times 5 is present in the list. Okay, so I want those kind of numbers. So I need to produce the output as which number it has that common consecutive numbers. Okay, so 5 is the that kind of a number in the particular list. When you go with the second example, we have some set of list of numbers: 1, 1, 1, 64, 23, 64, then again 22, 22, 22. Okay, so in this list, what are those kind of numbers according to my problem? That is 3 times the number has to be present consecutively. Okay, so those kind of numbers are 1 and 22. So 1 present 3 times in the list and 22 also present in 3 times in the list. So that is what my problem description. So I need to write a program in such a way that it has to search for those particular kind of numbers. Okay, which kind of numbers? It has to be present 3 times consecutively in the list. That is what my problem description is. Okay, hope you understand the problem description. Okay, next, how we try to solve this is, first of all, we need to write some roadmap. Okay, that means a plan or some steps has to be written, so that how can we solve this particular kind of a problem. Okay, so in general, what I try to do is to accomplish or to solve this kind of problem, what I try to do is, first of all, I create a list. I'll create a list. In that list, I'll take some values. I'll create a loop. Suppose generally I'm writing a for loop. Okay, in general, I'm trying to use a for loop. And that for loop is of range size -2. Okay, size -2. Why it is size -2 is, when you see this list, for the consecutive 3 numbers, I need to at least compare first 4 numbers. Okay, in any list, I need to take first 4 numbers in the list. Then I try to compare with the values. Okay, suppose I am in the first list, I am taking 4, 5, 5, 5. Okay, so what I do is I'll compare first 2 numbers. Then I'll compare the second number with the third number. Okay, and I'll compare the third number with the next number. So at least 4 positions I require. Okay, so that is a basic thing. We need to take the range as at least 4 positions. Okay, so how many numbers are there in the first list? 6 numbers are there. So 6 minus 2, which is 4. So you need to compare at least 4 numbers. Okay, from the index 0 to 3. Okay, so you need to do some comparisons between these 4 numbers, and you can make a conclusion. If at all the matching criteria, whatever the problem statement, according to that you have the numbers, then you can display the number. Otherwise, you compare with the next other numbers. Okay, so that is how we need to proceed. Okay, so that is what the second statement means. Create a loop for range size -2. Next, what I am doing is check if the element is equal to the next element. Okay, that is what I have explained you. Okay, first 2 numbers will be checked. Is there equal or not? Again check, the fourth step is again check if the next element is equal to the next element. Okay, so both the elements are equal or not. So we are checking by taking the first 4 numbers, we are checking whether the numbers which are present in the right hand side or the left hand side are equal or not. If both the conditions are satisfied, then print the element. Otherwise, you just move on to the next numbers. Okay, so what I am doing is I am comparing these first two numbers, and I am comparing these first 2 numbers. Okay, and in the middle also we had to compare these 2 numbers. So the comparison between these 4 numbers, like first 2 numbers and then next 2 numbers and then next 2 numbers, that is how you need to compare the list of values. Okay, so if both the elements are equal, then it can go ahead and print the number which is satisfied the conditions. Okay, next we see the program, how we are implementing the program. Suppose I have taken an array. Okay, array nothing but ARR, which is a variable, and I am creating a list with these numbers 4, 5, 5, 3, 8. Okay, then I am finding the size of the array. Okay, the size of the list. So size is equal to len of ARR. Len is a function which will give the length of the array. Okay, so how many numbers I have in this array is 6 numbers. So what are the size contains? 6. Now looping till length -2. Okay, first what I try to do is I'll try to first find out the loop Okay, so I am writing a for loop for I in range. Up to which number you need to compare the first 4 numbers. Okay, size minus 2. Size minus 2, those are the numbers which are really required to find out the. Okay, now check the conditions. So if ARR of I is equal to ARR of I plus 1, that means what? I am checking the first index. Okay, so you can see here the first index is 4. A of 0 contains 4, so 4 is equal to 5. Okay, that is one condition. And ARR of I plus 1, that means this one, first index compare with the second index. So this is the indexes are as like 0. Okay, the indexes start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the 0th index will be compared with the first index, and the first index will be compared with the second index. If both the conditions are true, then only it will go ahead and print the value. Otherwise, it will move on to the next number. Okay, according to this condition, first one is 4 and the second one is 5. 4 and 5 and 5 and 5. Okay, so here I have written AND. AND means what? Both the conditions has to be true. This is 4. See, 4 is equal to 5 and 5 is equal to 5. 5 is equal to 5 is true, but 4 is equal to 5 is not true. Okay, so then this will not consider the number. Okay, it will not consider the number. Now I will be automatically incremented to 1. Okay, I leave the first number 4. I leave this and I'll go with the first index. So the first index will be compared with the second index. Second index will be compared with the third index. Okay, so what is the AR of I now? AR of I contains 1. So AR of 1 nothing but 5. 5 is equal to, the next location is again 5. 5 is equal to 5 and this also 5 is equal to 5. So both the conditions are true. Then I'll go ahead and print that the number is 5. Okay, so 5 will be consecutively present in the 3 locations. Then only I can decide that 5 is the number which is present consecutively in the 3 locations. Okay, so likewise I need to go on increasing the numbers and check all the numbers. Okay, so this is how we can solve this particular problem. Once again, I am repeating this main logic. Okay, so the first of all, the index starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Totally 5 indexes are 0 to 5 indexes are there, and total elements are 6. Okay, so I need to first compare the 4 numbers. Okay, I need to take the first 4 numbers of the list. So, and how I can compare the values is, the first index value will be compared with the second index, and the second index value will be compared with the third index. Okay, like that. So according to the list of numbers, I'll start with 0 index. So A of 0 is equal to A of 1. What is A of 0? Contains 4 and A of 1 contains 5. 4 equal to 5. That is one condition. Okay, and ARR of I plus 1, which is nothing but ARR of 1. Okay, array of 1 is equal to array of 2. Okay, so because I value initially 0, right? So 0 plus 1, ARR of 1. Okay, and 0 plus 2, ARR of 2. So now ARR of 1 contains 5, ARR of 2 contains again 5. So 5 is equal to 5. Both two conditions are there. 4 is equal to 5 and 5 is equal to 5. 5 is equal to 5 is true, but 4 is equal to 5 is not true. Okay, so this condition is not satisfied. Automatically for loop, what happens? The I value will be incremented to the next location. Now the I value become 1. So the first one is ARR of 1 is equal to ARR of 1 plus 1, 2. So what is ARR of 1? 5. And what is ARR of 1 plus 1? That means 2. It contains the value 5. So 5 is equal to 5. Again, the next location, 5 is equal to 5. So both the conditions are true. Then go ahead and print the array of the value ARR of I. Okay, which is nothing but 5. Right? So that is how we can print the numbers which are consecutively present in the list. Okay, consecutively 3 times the number has to be present in the list. Okay, so this is somewhat tricky example and somewhat more mathematical oriented example. So we need to consider the situations like this and try to implement where we can use the if loops and for loops and all these things. Okay, next. Okay, next we have a small example on else. Okay, else, while loop. We have a small example on this. See, you can try to understand the code which uses the simple while loop conditions. What happens is here, I am initializing to 0, while I less than 4, I is equal to I plus 1. Print I. Okay, else executed because no break. Print no break. That has to be printed. After that, what happens is I am again writing the same code with some slight modification. I is equal to 0, while I less than 4, I is equal to I plus 1, print I, break. Okay, after print I, we have to break. Okay, so, and I am writing something in else which is called print no break. Okay, so how this program will be represented, that means how the output will be represented, let's see. Initially I is equal to 0, we'll check the condition 0 less than 4, okay, which is true. Then I is equal to I plus 1, print I. Okay, so I'll print the first value which is 1, because I is equal to I plus 1 is already incremented here. Then I am printing the I value. Okay, again the loop again continues. This time 1 less than 4, the condition true. Again I am incrementing the I value. That means here I becomes 2. Print 2. Again 2 less than 4. Okay, 3 less than 4. 4 less than 4. Okay, so whenever it becomes 4 less than 4, what happens? The condition is not satisfied. So I need to go to the else part and print no break. Okay, so that is what I have printed in the output. First 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed, then the condition become false and I am executing the else part which is there in the while. So there is a statement called no break. So I have printed simply no break. Now I am repeating the same code in the same module. Again I am initializing I is equal to 0. Again while I less than 4, I is equal to I plus 1, print I, break. Okay, only statement I have included in the previous program itself is a break statement after the print. Okay, then what happens is, you can see the output, only 1 will be printed. Why? Because first of all I is 0, right? So 0 less than 4, condition become true. I is equal to I plus 1. I becomes 1 here. Now print I value will be printed. After printing the I value, I am writing a break statement. Break is nothing but what? I need to come out of the loop. There is no need to execute the remaining statements. Okay, so wherever the break is encountered, you have to come out of the loop. Okay, so simply the break statement will break the loop. So once the statement is encountered, I am not bothered about the statements which are written after the break statement. There are some statements which are after the break, but I will not execute any of these statements, and I will not continue the loop also. I'll simply break from the loop and come out of the loop. So that's why only 1 is printed. So the slight difference or a simple break statement in between the while loop makes a lot of difference. That is what the point you need to observe here. Okay, in the above program there is no break statement, so that's why the loop will be continually performing until the condition become false. Okay, after the condition become false, then there is an else associated with the while. So else part contains a statement called which is no break, then that is also printed. But in the second part of the program, I have written a break statement in between the while loop. So only one time the loop is executed. Okay, after that we'll encounter a break statement, then we'll stop executing the program and come out of the loop. That's what we got the output in this fashion. 1 2 3 4, no break, and 1. Okay, so that is how we can use the while loop with else. So here is one more practical example on artificial intelligence type of program. Okay, so the program here will behave very much maturely, unlike an artificial intelligence. Okay, it's like a small game where program will try to create a random number. Okay, it will create a random number, and the user, he will try to give the input as a guess. Okay, so first of all, what happens in this particular program is the user has to give some number to the program. Okay, then the program has to guess whether the number which is entered by the user is a number which is randomly created by the program, both are equal or not. Okay, that is what the problem description is. Okay, it's like a guessing game. So the first of all, the user will try to enter some number, then the program will tells that whether that number is smaller than the guessed number, or the larger than the guessed number, or equal to the guessed number. Okay, so the program will try to create a random number, and it will try to guess exactly what the number the user has been given. Okay, so if the player wants to give up, he can input directly 0 or negative number. Okay, so here the program will create a random number using a module called random. Okay, based on that function, it will guess whether the input which is provided by the player is exactly the same number which is generated by the random function or not. That is what exactly the problem description. Okay, so once again I am telling you the problem description. That is, first of all, the user will try to give some number to the program. Okay, already program will create a random number. That means it will also try to guess a random number according to some function called random. Okay, and whatever the user entered the number, it is equal to that random number. Then in the first case itself, you are done with the program. That means you have guessed the correct number. Otherwise, what the program will do is, if the random number which is generated by the program is larger or lesser or equal to that secret number, or equal to that particular number which has been entered by the user, so these conditions will be checked inside the program. Okay, and it will try to give that statement. If at all the number whatever you have entered is less than that random number, then it will ask you to enter the number which is nearer to that particular number. Then again you will try to enter some number. Okay, so let's already I have written some program according to this problem statement. First of all, you try to understand the output, how this program is going to produce some output. Okay, so first of all, we'll try to understand the output, then we'll try to again understand the program, what the code logic we have written. Okay, so here I'll try to execute the program. Okay, according that is the about that problem description. So this is the program actually. So let's see what is the basic output is. So first of all, we'll try to understand the output, then we'll try to understand the program. Okay, so after executing the program, it will ask you a number. Okay, so you try to give a number which is 9, then click on enter. So what it is saying is the number is too small. What is the meaning of this is, number 9 I have entered, the program already have created a random number. So the program will try to tell you that the number which I have guessed, that is, which is very too small. Okay, so I need to enter a number which is nearer to that. Okay, 9 is too small number. Okay, so the number what the program has guessed is, it's very small number. So that's why I need to enter a number 7. It is also very too small. Then I'll try to again give 6. Okay, let's see, ma. So here we try to understand the basic program. Okay, what is the problem description, what we have learned earlier in the slide. So according to that, we have written some program. So this program will try to create a number, or will try to generate a number in between 20 to 1 to 20. Okay, so what happens when you execute this program is, this program will ask you to enter some number. So you have entered some number called 9. Okay, so what the program is telling is, the number is too small. Okay, 9 is the number I have given, but the program already generated some number inside the computer. Okay, so what that number is, we don't know. So what it's saying is, it will also reveal, it will not also reveal what is that number is. So it will try to say that number is too small. Okay, 9 is very small number according to my guessing. Okay, so I need to give some more larger number than 9. So let us suppose the number what the program has guessed is 13, I think. Okay, so I am giving 13 now. So after giving 13 also, it is saying the number is very too small. Okay, so obviously the number should be greater than 13. Okay, so whatever the number the computer has guessed is greater than 13. So I need to give the number now greater than 13, which is 19. I am giving 19. So when I am giving 19, what it's saying is number is too large. That means what? The number should be in between 13 to 19. Okay, obviously it is in between 13 to 19. So I need to give now the number which is in between 13 to 19. So I am giving number 15. So what it is saying, again it is also very too small. Okay, so obviously what the conclusion is, 15 to 19, the number is in between 15 to 19. So I'll try to give 17 now. So when I give a 17, so what it respond, the program has responded to me saying that congratulations, you have made it. Okay, so what the program has guessed the number is 17. So 17 is the random number which is generated by the program. Okay, so once again I'll try to explain this same output scenario by executing the program once again. Okay, so this time I have given the program is asking for a number to enter. I entered 15. Okay, when I entered 15, the program is saying that the number is too large. So I need to come down and give the number. Okay, that means in between 10 to 15, I think I'll give 10. So what it is saying, the number is too small. That means definitely the number which has been guessed by the program is in between 10 to 15. So now this time I'll give 13. And also it is saying the number is too small. Okay, so it is not 13, it is not 15. Okay, at 13 it is saying that number is too small. At 15 it is saying number is too large. So obviously the number the computer has guessed is 14. Right? So now you got the statement. Congratulations, you made it, because 14 is the number which has been guessed by the computer. So this is how the program is executing. Okay, it's just a number guessing game. Okay, so it will bring down the user to that particular number which is equal to that the number which has been guessed by the program. So how the number is generated, the random number, how the number is generated is based on the random function which is available in the Python library. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and see how the program is implemented. So you can see that I am using a function called random. So that random is already written by the programmers. So I am simply importing random. Okay, so import statement is nothing but hash include statement in C program. So I am using this random function. Now I am setting the limits because I need a number in between 1 to 20. Okay, the user has to guess a number in between 1 to 20. So that's why I'm confining my limit. Upper bound is 20 and lower bound is 1. Okay, now the number to be guessed. Okay, so forget about this statement because this statement is in comments, so we don't need to bother about the comments. So the number to be guessed. So how the number to be guessed is, it is a random function generated in between 20 and 1. So I need to write a statement random dot rand int. Okay, so random dot rand int lower bound and upper bound. I need to give the lower bound and upper bound. So okay, so this is the lower bound 1 and the upper bound is 20. So in between 1 to 20 some number is generated and that number will be stored in to be guessed. Okay, in this variable the number will be stored. Now guess is equal to 0. What is this guess? Is nothing but the guess is nothing but the user has to give the input to the program. Okay, so we have seen in the output section, first of all it will ask you to enter a number. Okay, so that number will be taken in the guess, right? So I need to write a while loop, guess not equal to be guessed. Okay, so I need to start with guess not equal to be guessed. That means until then the program has to be repeatedly perform the same set of statements. Okay, so now I am guessing a number. That means I am asking a user to give some number. So int input of new number. This statement will ask you to enter a number. So you have entered some number. Let us suppose that 14. That 14 will be stored in guess. Okay, now the condition will be checked. 14 is not equal to be guessed. Okay, so obviously 14 is not equal to be guessed because to be guessed means what? The number which is there in the randomly generated number. Okay, so now I'll check if that guess number greater than 0. Okay, and it is greater than to be guessed. To be guessed means what? The random number which is generated by the computer, and guess is what? It is the number which you have given input. So if this number is greater than this number, then print a statement number is too large. Otherwise, less than that, print saying that number is too small. Okay, else if you don't want to give number of times, that means you are bored with giving this number of inputs. So obviously you don't want to play the game. So you can simply give either 0 or negative number. You will come out of that game. Okay, otherwise the process will be repeatedly performed. Okay, the process will be repeatedly performed. So likewise I have shown you in the output, whenever I am giving some input, it is saying, the program is saying that whether the number is greater than or lesser than that particular random number. Okay, so like that the process will be continued until the numbers are equal, the random number which is generated by the computer and the guessed number. That means whatever the user has provided the input, both the numbers are equal, then only it will print a statement saying that congratulations, you have made it. Okay, so this is how we can execute the program. Okay, a small practical example of how the mathematical problems like this can be solved by the while loops and for loops and if else conditions. Okay, so in the last slide I have shown you two different outputs. So first of all you have entered a number 6 saying that number is too small. Okay, So what the conclusion is, you need to give the number which is above 6. So I have, next time I have entered 8. Then in the next time itself, the computer has guessed the correct number. That is, congratulations, you have made it. See, in the second output, first of all, I have given the number 4. Okay, it is saying that the number is too large. Okay, too large than the random number which is generated by the computer. So what I thought is might be number is 1. I have given 1. Now it's saying that number is too small. Okay, so it is definitely in between 1 and 4. Then I thought that number is 2. Then I have given number 2. Again it is saying that number is too small. Okay, so obviously the number is in between 2 and 4. 2 and 4 nothing but only one number exists. Now I have given 3. Then it has displayed a statement, congratulations, you have made it. Okay. So this is how we can generate a random number or a guessing number or a small game type of a program. Okay, so for this purpose, what we have used a function called random. A random is a function which will generate a random number in between 1 to 20. Okay, because we have defined the limits, upper bound and lower bound, and we have used a function random.randint. Okay, so try to remember this. Random.randint is a number which can be used to generate a random number in between some lower bound and upper bound. Okay, so that's it for the class. I hope you understood these small example programs. So this is how we can implement more general scenarios or real-time programming things by using Python very easily. Okay, you can see the code also. With a very small number of lines of code, we can simply write a guessing program. Okay, random number guessing. So similarly, these things can be happen in Python. So that is the beauty of Python. Okay, so why we are learning all these concepts is by using a small lines of code, we can develop a very big programs or some scenarios also. Okay, real-time scenarios also we can implement by using this Python programming very easily. Okay, so that's it for the class. Thank you.